Okay, I think we are live. Welcome, Christina. Welcome, everybody.
Yeah, welcome.
Welcome to the Expat Talk in the Expat Club, A Blooming New Life. Today, I am very excited to welcome Christina Rebuffet Brodus with us. Thank you for being here, Christina.
Thank you for inviting me, Yuko. I'm very happy to be able to do another live event with you. It's been a while, a couple of years, so very excited to be back.
Yes, and indeed, we've been, in touch, connected since I think the beginning of my entrepreneurship journey, which was probably 7 to 8 years ago. And I've been following Christina. I am very, very honored to have you. So, Christina, first, for a few words about you, I'm going to share with the audience. And feel free to also send us your question, live replay. I'm checking the Facebook group as well, just in case. So Christina is a business English coach, mainly for tech company who wants to work with USA, but it's not only tech company in reality. She works with many clients. And yes, tell us a little bit more about you. You're in France for many years. You speak fluently French. I'm very impressed by your French.
Oh, thank you.
We could have done this interview in French, but we decided to do in English because I really want this talk, to benefit to expats from all around the globe. And because I also help Japanese and French and Americans, I think your message will reach and help many people. So please, Christina, tell us a little bit about you.
Yeah, sure. Right. So yeah, Yuko, as you said, I'm American. I'm originally from Mississippi in the southern part of the US. I've been living here in Grenoble for almost 20 years now. And today I am the creator and the founder of Business English with Christina, which, like you said, we help mostly tech companies, those are who our clients tend to be, but in reality, like if you need help and we can help you, we will take you on. But we help these companies basically to improve their English skills, improve their business skills, and also to improve their, let's say, intercultural competencies and communication, specifically when they're working with Americans. So depending on their needs, we'll work with them to see how we can best help them on, let's say, generally a mix of those three topics. And for me personally, so my personal story, I came to France, it was in 2002, 2003, I think, as a student on a study abroad program. I was in Orléans, which I loved. And then I had to go back to the US, but I wanted to come back to France. So I signed up to do a master's degree here in Grenoble. During that time, I met my French husband, now ex-husband, but that's life when you're in your own country or in a different country. Life happens. So I met my ex-husband. We got married. We stayed married for about 12 years. We got divorced a couple of years ago. And I decided to stay here in France because I had created my business. We had the apartment. I had my circle of friends. I basically just had my life here, and I didn't see any reason to go back to the US. And so now I've been here for, almost 20 years and still enjoying it, still finding things I love and things that frustrate me about life in France. But, nowhere is perfect, and you just have to decide what you want and what you're willing to accept.
Yes, thank you for this wisdom. It's such an important sentence. You need to know what you want, what you're willing to accept. And yes, tell me a little bit, Christina, about what have been for you the challenges during all these 20 years of adjusting to another culture, a new environment.
I would say, I feel like the challenges that you face, they evolve depending on sort of where you're at in maybe your expatriation or how long you've been there. I'd say, in the beginning, what can be difficult is, I would say, in the beginning, it's kind of a very exciting, like a honeymoon period. It's a new place, it's a new culture, you're discovering all these new things. It's really great. But then what can happen is you start to feel those frustrations and maybe even like comparing, oh, but in my home country, we do things this way. And why is it this way in this new country? This is such a stupid way. So I think that can be sometimes a challenge. I feel like for me at the beginning, the challenge was sometimes it was like just feeling like I was just missing, like missing having my close friends that I've known forever, having my family there. You can't just like, run to your mom's house to say hi or to have a coffee or whatever. So it was sort of those things maybe at the beginning. And then I would say maybe a couple of years later, I don't know the exact number of years, but let's say maybe about 5 to 7 years later, the frustrations become more, I would almost say like administrative, because it's kind of like the more you're in the country, the more you are going to be faced with dealing with the same kind of administrative tasks that a native of that country would. But the challenge is that it's, in a different language, which you may or may not master. Often the language of administrative stuff is very specific. So I don't understand what this says. And also it's like you don't have the benefit of having grown up in that system. So you have to try to understand like what's the system, why is it like that? Or maybe you don't have to know why it's like that, but you have to just say, okay, this is what it is, and I have to conform because that's part of the game. And then I would say after that, the challenges can be like really feeling at home and saying like, this is my home. I have friends. I know what I have to do. I feel comfortable in, most situations. I don't think you'll ever feel comfortable in all situations, but that's also the case in your home country. Like I know in English, I'm just not good at negotiation. So whether it's in English with an American or in French with a French person, I'm just not good at it. So I would say then the more you're in the country, the more the challenges you'll face will be similar to the same challenges that, a native of that country might face. And I feel like when you get to that point, you can really say like, this is home now, because I'm kind of like everyone else, even though you're still a foreigner.
Yes, and I'm sure now you're at a stage where you feel home, right? In France, because after 20 years, usually, and I think you describe it well, because there is a curve of adjustment. I talk about that a lot to my clients, but after the honeymoon, where there is the excitement, goes the crisis or the culture shock. You described it very well too when you said you miss your friend, and then there is the adjustment phase. And then mastery, where you really feel like home. And as you said it well, you have the similar challenges, whether you're in your country, in the US, or in France. Yes, that's an impressive journey. You have 20 years. Wow. I am now 8 years in the US. So it's okay. Pretty long, but I still have a long way to go.
No, it's like when I think about it, I'm like, oh my, it's like how time has just flown by. It's I can remember, when I first arrived in Grenoble and have very specific memories of that, that time and the people and the places that I lived and, how I was, the mindset and everything. But it's just time flies when you're having fun.
Yes, that's a good point. And what would you say, Christina, as the keys to your successful adaptation? What helps you to live this expatriation? Yes.
Yeah, it's a good question. I think it's probably a couple of different points.